Hello. Sorry for some delay with translation because of technical problem. And today I will explain games from round 12. So how to start it? Okay. Example, young Krzysztof Duda played today against the young grandmaster, Dutch young grandmaster Jordan van Forest. So bishop g5. Black was invited to Botvinnik system. I mean this, which is not so popular now, but Alexei Shirov, for example, still playing in this. Okay, but h6 was choice of one forest, and now if bishop h4, it is possible to take, and after e4, not only possible to play Botvinnik line after b5, e5, g5, but also possible to play g5 immediately, and after bishop g3, b5. It's another line. Anti-Moscow gambit, let's call it. But okay, so after h6, bishop f6 was played, queen takes f6, g3. White has choice. There are many lines. For example, queen b3, it's quite interesting line here. I played several times with white. Thank you. I hope I will play probably next year in Tata Steel. And after queen b3, if knight d7, e4 is idea. D takes e4, knight takes e4, queen f4, bishop d3. It's one of variation. Of course, there are many other lines, but d takes c4 is possible. After queen takes c4, knight d7. Of course, b5 it's terrible blunder now because knight takes b5. Impossible to take the knight, and if bishop a6, knight c7, so b5 it's big blunder. And e3, very popular line, knight d7, also g6 possible as well immediately. So if knight d7, bishop d3, bishop d takes c4, bishop takes c4, g6, it's another popular line. Okay, so, but young Krzysztof played g3 immediately, knight d7, bishop g2, d takes c4. Another possible plan, just to play queen d8, castle, bishop e7, but in that case white is slightly better after queen c2, castle, rook f d1. Also possible here to play bishop d6, and after castle, queen e7. But okay, d takes c4 is principal move because black just taking the pawn, queen c2, queen e7, a3. So I think it's still theory, but I don't remember concrete games. Bishop d6, knight d2, white is attacking pawn. Black cannot protect this pawn, but they are ready to push e5. So knight b6 was played, knight c4, e5. Position simplified. Hello. Takes. Rook f d1, bishop e6. Okay, now if take on d4 immediately with queen, black is even slightly better after. Queen takes d4, rook takes d4, king e7, and then rook a d8 comes. So queen a4. Castle, rook takes d4, white prefers Chibanenko, white disappeared. Yes, it's not so popular during last time. I don't know why it's interesting. Queen e5, e3. So it's quite simple positions. Nothing special is going on. Rook d2, so white not agree immediately for move repetition, but position doesn't promise any advantage. 6. Now it's something more sharp. So white is trying to create some threats, but black has good possibilities for counterattacks. Queen d3. Now bishop h5, g6, white just losing the piece. So queen f4 is forced. g5, b8, g4, b3. Of course, other moves is possible, like queen d6, for example. So black is not worse at all, but g4 is more forcing line. Rook e1, queen d2, rook f1, bishop c4. I don't know why not queen e2, for example. Maybe just king g1, queen e2. Okay, well, I'm curious if white has any choice. So rook is hanging, so queen g1 is only move. And now bishop c4 was my... queen takes e4 is also possible. It looks quite dangerous for white. Probably after queen e2, white has idea queen e8, and after queen takes yes, queen e8 and queen g6, yes, I see. And this is... What is this also? Is draw? Okay. If king f8, white has not take the pawn, but check. It's important. So, because after takes the pawn, probably black is winning. Yes. If queen h8, now queen e8, bishop g8 is possible, but now queen takes h6. This is rook h7. But okay, no perpetual check, because if queen h6, black has bishop h7. So maybe just bishop takes g4, but what is this? Queen takes f6 maybe. Yes, if rook g7, yes, probably you are right. Now this, yes, you are right. So perpetual check. So because of this, black played bishop c4 immediately, and same final. Now pawn h6 is protected, so black should... So white should force to draw, and this was happening in the game. Okay, so this is draw. Okay, not so spectacular game, but okay, not so easy as well. Okay, Giri Grandelius. c6, knight c3, d5, queen b3. So this idea I recommended to play to Anatoly Karpov many years ago, and he successfully played it against Kirill Georgiev. So what is the idea that White is playing Queen B3 with Knight on C3 to avoid, for example, if immediately Bishop G2, D5, Queen B3, Black has A5. This was idea to avoid this. And now after Knight C3, A4 is unpleasant, so modern theory is c takes d5, a4, queen d1, c takes d5, knight c3, knight e4, and now knight g5 or knight d2. There are two possible moves. Richard Rappert played knight g5 successfully. But at the moment, White played queen b3. Now after a5, c takes d5, Black has no a4 at all because White can take on e4. So this was my idea in that moment. So now, of course, it's well-known position. So bishop g2. This is also I played with Black against Akopyan. As I remember, Akopyan played bishop f4 here. I played queen b6, something like this. Rook e1 also possibility, but if rook e1, idea of Black to play knight e4. And possible this, for example, bishop e6, queen d3. The structures. Something like this was in my game against Evgeny Alexeyev in Tal Memorial. So a4 played Giri. a4 is new for me. Rook c8. I don't know why. a5 it's possible to consider, but probably after a5 this idea. Okay, maybe not because knight d6. Is coming. White has no queen e4 anymore, and next move Black will take the pawn. So after a5, White should play something else. I don't know what exactly prepared Anish to play after a5. Probably just e3 with idea to prepare queen e2, or maybe something else. Okay, so a5, it's anyway, it's logical move, totally normal, but Niels preferred another way. Rook c8 he played, so in some moment Black is ready to play c5, and if d5, knight b6, so a5 more or less forced, b5 with this. Bishop f4, bishop e6, queen d3, bishop f5. So Black is ready to accept draw. If e4, knight c5, of course, it's possible. So e4, it's a mistake here. So queen a5, queen a6 played Anish, h6. Maybe knight d5 immediately was possible, but Niels doesn't want to hurry, so he probably just preparing g5 idea. And White is playing rook fd1, probably with idea if g5 to play bishop e5. And at the moment knight takes e5, it's hardly good for Black because d takes e5, knight d7, knight d4, something like this. Now we can see that rook on d1 very useful in this line. But okay, probably g5 was not so strong anyway, so probably rook c1 was possible if Black is playing knight d5, knight takes d5, c takes d5. Now rook on c1 much more useful than on d1. And if g5, okay, bishop e5 again. Probably even with rook on c1, White has good position anyway, because after take, I will take with knight, and c6 pawn is attacked, quite unpleasant ways, so it's not so clear how to defend this pawn. If black plays g4, knight h4 simply possible. It looks like good position. Okay, probably black has some contraplay after bishop a6, but I would prefer white after bishop f4. Okay, so rook fc1 was possible, but Anish played rook fd1, knight d5, knight takes d5, c takes d5, queen b7. So about books, I just find some books I want to show you. So these books, it's good for training tactics. If I hope it's easy to see. And also was published in two-volume books from Romain Edouard, French grandmaster. Name Chess Tactics for Intermediate Players. Mesaros Andras. And the power of tactics. Tadej Shakelshek and Adrian Michalchishin. And another book of Mesaros Andras, Tactical Training for Beginners. So for stronger level, it's interesting book from Romain Edouard in two volumes, and also book which was written by Ogard. But okay, Ogard's book is very complicated. Yes, Andras Mesaros. Okay, so queen b7, g5, g4. Knight h4 is possible, but after knight h4, black has several possibilities. So bishop e6 may be possible, maybe bishop c2 is possible as well. So future of knight on h4. Yes, something like this. I mean, about Edouard books. So if this e6 and white has problem with his knight on h4. Also, maybe rook a7. It's possible. Maybe this is not totally clear. Knight is attacked, and if knight f6, bishop b4 is coming. So maybe this is not bad at all for white. Okay, but after knight h4, also possible, for example, to play bishop e6, and white cannot take, or white can take immediately, but it's just a draw. Rook c7, after queen e8, rook c8. Sorry, after rook c8, white has queen e2. I missed queen e2. But okay, black can just take, and okay, sorry, bishop takes, rook takes, not possible, of course, because bishop takes d5. Now, okay, white still pawn up. If bishop takes d4, bishop takes h6 is possible. So probably there are some chances for white in this position. So maybe knight h4 was interesting alternative, but of course it requires very good calculation. Maybe here rook b8 is strong instead of rook c7. And after queen c6 also, and rook c8 is not draw because queen b5 is coming. So knight h4 looks like interesting idea. Okay, it's a risky move because if image that bishop c2 e6, if white has nothing concrete, uh, can be problem with knight on h4, but by concrete reasons it looks like interesting. So bishop, okay, so if bishop e6, bishop d5, and now if rook b8, black has, white has queen c6, if rook c7, white has queen a8. Knight c5 is also necessary to consider, but okay, it's not the reason to refuse, because white can just take and take here. So probably knight h4 was stronger. That what Giri played, and here rook a7. What to do? Knight f6, bishop b4. It's so proposition rook b6, queen c8, knight e5. Yes, I have seen this, but why this is so strong? White has pawn up. If queen takes d5, I will take it knight f5. If bishop takes d5, queen b5, for example. White has pawn up and good position. So maybe knight h4 was interesting. Rook dc1 here, and after e6, rook a7. And what to do? Knight f6, bishop b4 is pretty unpleasant. And black will lost exchange, because rook cannot leave f8 square. Yes, so actually knight h4 was much more aggressive than what Giri plays. Knight e1 played Giri, but now nothing is attacking and black just consolidated position. Bishop f4 he plays. Rook a7 now can be considered, of course. But after rook a7, okay, now knight f6 is possible. And if bishop b4, rook b8, and white has no special threats. So bishop f4, he played knight f6, rook a7 now, queen c6, knight d3, and in this complicated position, Anish offered draw, and Nils accepted. So now it looks like even black is better after rook takes d4 or rook c4. So strange game somehow, but ended with draw. Okay, what else? Vidit lost against Mamediyar. Rook c4, black is better. Okay. I can tell you it without any engine. The same. So d6, castle h6, rook e1, castle, knight bd2, bishop b6, h3. I don't know why white need to hurry with h3 here. For me, more natural looks Shamlar, bishop b3 looks more natural, and then knight c4, and then probably take on b6. And to reach a position more or less similar to my game against Aronyan, where move order was bishop c4, bishop c5, d3, knight f6, knight c3, d6, knight a4. Okay, so, but he played h3, knight e7, he played d4. Now bishop b3 is possible, but black already prepared to play c6, and now if knight c4, bishop c7. So d4, knight c6. It seems me that I have seen it already, so this is one of theoretical lines. So probably Kramnik played this with black. Okay, I'm not totally sure, but this idea knight e7 and after d4 knight c6 back isn't new for me. So, but probably not exactly in this position. I'm not totally sure. So a4, e takes d4, c takes d4. So pawn sacrifice. So knight takes d4 was possible, but knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, knight b3. Alexeyenko Caruana, yes. You are right, Caruana played knight c6. So probably this is a problem for black somehow. But okay, necessary to check this line more accurately. For example, bishop e5 is possible after f4, d5. What is this? It's unclear for me. Because if e takes d5, bishop d6, if f takes, d takes. It looks like black is totally okay here. So what was problem? Knight takes d4, a5 here, knight takes f3, and bishop c5 is possible. Okay, black still have pawn up, and I don't see any serious threats. Okay, probably there is some compensation, but nothing forcing. Some compensation can be, for example, here, queen c2. This idea to prepare e5 and then bishop takes h6, queen g6, something like this. f3, when f3, in move 26, why f4 d5 bishop e2, f4 d5 bishop e2, yes, you are right, bishop e2 is strong. Maybe bishop f1 also possible with same idea. So this is real problem. Maybe bishop f1 possible as well. So this is problem if black is taking pawn, but it's not necessary to take. So here knight b3 and okay, bishop c5 not so pleasant to play on bishop e5 f4. If immediately d5 white can also ignore this. Well, so now Mamedyarov played d5, very standard. Bishop d6, e5, bishop b4. After bishop e2, or after bishop, yes, I see this, but probably white is better. Here, probably even f takes g7 is possible, or maybe this. If rook e8, queen takes c1. Okay, so okay, he didn't take, he just played d5, very standard method. Now white has isolated pawn, but quite active pieces. b3, so I understand that if knight takes d4, white wants to play bishop b2. Of course not a5, because after knight c3, their queen is just trapped, so it doesn't work. So after knight takes d4, bishop b2 is idea, and white has obvious compensation because pieces are more active than black ones. So b3, bishop e6, knight e4, rook e8. A very interesting position with mutual chances. Both has his trumps. Bishop c1, rook e6. So in move 26 was question. f3, no. So it's not this game. So he played queen g4 and And he just lost after f5, so he just lost the piece. So okay, now at the moment I see a totally playable position in the board. For example, white can play just bishop c3. It's normal position. To prepare knight f4 or knight g3. Okay, maybe black is slightly better, but it's totally playable position. But he took and queen takes d4 very natural, and after queen g4 f5 it looks like he is just losing already because he just losing the piece. Nothing works. Okay, so bishop f4 after queen takes d4. Yes, bishop f4 is possible. It looks very logical move. Yes, you are right. But if bishop takes f4, knight takes f4, rook e5, knight d3 even possible. And knight d3, rook f5 also. Okay, probably this. What is this? Not okay, it's complicated position. Even queen g3 necessary to consider. So queen takes c4, maybe after bishop f4. Queen takes c4, no, bishop is hanging. So queen takes c4 is not possible. Okay, so bishop f4, totally normal move, and white has normal position, so something very strange happened. So queen g4, and after f5, it's white can resign. So it looks like Mamedyarov won by utilizing very primitive blunder of Vidit. So, because f5 is very obvious move, and yes, maybe after rook e5, queen g4. After rook e5, queen g4. Yeah, okay, my idea was queen g3, same idea. To prepare knight f6 check. Maybe queen g4 is possible as well. The same idea. f5, knight f6 check is unpleasant. Complicated position, but a lot of play. So very strange blunder by Vidit queen g4. Difficult to explain it. Hardly it was time trouble in move 26. So now after f5, so game is over. Mamedyarov won. Knight e3 check. Okay, so white resigned because after f takes e3, black has pleasant choice. Rook takes e1 check is possible, but even more stronger to play. Vidit was in time trouble, but okay, anyway, it's very primitive blunder, so f5 and so. And had to understand what exactly he missed, because here it's totally playable position. For example, after bishop f4, bishop f4 is very natural move, and after queen g4 f5, okay, game is over. So probably he missed f5, but difficult to believe. So maybe he calculated only something like understand. Probably he calculated only knight g6 and have seen knight g6, knight takes f6. Probably this was what he wanted and just missed that f5 queen can cover g7 square. Okay, understand. So very original play was Yesipenko rapport. Knight f6, d3, knight e7. Now, okay, it's very rare move, but with trap. So knight takes e5 now. It's not good because after c6 white has obvious trouble. If bishop goes somewhere, queen e5 is coming. If knight c4, black has pleasant choice. It's possible to play d6 and win the piece, and not also possible to play d5, and after e5, d takes c4, e takes f6, c takes b5, bishop takes e7. No problem at all. Okay, so he played it against Magnus. Rapport played. Okay, so Kirill Georgiev played it against Atakishi. So no, 97. It is not novelty of Richard Rapport, but okay. So probably later he has some ideas. For example, I remember theory if knight g6, which looks not like natural move d4. It's pretty unpleasant for black because d6 not possible, d takes e5, and then black has trouble with f7 square. So he is not hurry with knight g6 because of this. He is playing d6. I don't know what this idea against d4 again. It's interesting question. Because simply defend, it's hardly possible. White can just take and knight g5 and they are winning. So what he prepared against d4, it's question for me. b5, d takes e5 is strong. So e takes d4, okay, hardly good for positional reasons. White can take with even with queen, and b5, okay, it looks extremely strange. Okay, so okay, bishop b3, c5, c4, black has idea. Although even this, I'm not sure that it works. Okay, maybe it works because after c4, knight takes b5, queen a5 check. But okay, after b5, white can just play bishop e2, and position of white is obviously looks like more pleasant. So for me, it's I'm quite curious what was preparation of Rapport against d4. Okay, surely he prepared something, but I don't know what exactly. Okay, e takes d4, queen takes d4, now knight g6, but okay, it's yes, it's playable, but anyway, position looks like more pleasant for white. For example, a4, bishop e7, h3, castle, castle. Although here there is a typical idea. Knight e5 doesn't work. If for a match example, if h6, for example, okay, now white has many moves, but there is idea. If, for example, rook e1 just waiting moves, knight e5 is important idea in this type of position, and white cannot take twice because after bishop d6 they are losing queen. So queen d4, bishop h2 check. And this was reason of h6 because immediately black cannot realize this idea because white has g5 square for the queen and black has no. Okay, probably e takes d4 and knight g6 probably. Okay, after e takes d4, knight takes d4 is possible as well. But okay, maybe this is playable position. Also, it looks like slightly better for white. Knight takes d4, maybe b5 even possible to consider here. If bishop b3, b4, and then c5 somehow. But okay, how strong it is, it's not clear for me. But surely d4 looks like the most principal line. By the way, Yesipenko played castle, h6, prophylactic move, d4, queen c7, knight h4. Of course, it's possible to play a4, but after a4, knight g6, then bishop e7, castle, more or less playable for black. So knight h4, g5, takes, queen f3, bishop g7, natural moves, knight f5, bishop takes f5, rook d8. So both has, yes, very similar to Philidor defense, right? Yes, Tartakover system, Henem. So it was Tartakover who liked to play knight bd7, bishop e7, and then knight f8 instead of castle. Both has his trumps. White has two bishops, but black has good development of pieces and some ideas in center. Knight takes d5. Okay, c takes d5, bishop b5. Probably he didn't want, so c3, castle, h3, queen b6. Black is not hurried to take on e4. Finally he took. Queen takes c3, queen b3, queen b7, e4. King h2, Yesipenko. So bishop b6 necessary to calculate, but of course something was prepared. Maybe even this was prepared. An idea of black, if bishop takes rook f1, white cannot take rook because of mate. If king h2, bishop h5, e5 check, g3, bishop takes g3, and black wins. If f takes g3, queen b2, queen c2 mate, this is mate. Okay, so after rook d1, white is probably already losing. So king h2, played Yesipenko to avoid this rook f8. Black defended pawn. Good evening. Who is better in classic chess now, Dubov or Grandelius? I think Dubov is stronger because Dubov is much more educated player than Grandelius. For example, I was really impressed about his reports about Soviet championship from different years. So he has very good knowledge about chess. Okay, it doesn't mean, of course, that Grandelius has no choice. Okay, I respect him as well, but okay, if compare, I think Dubov is more educated player than Grandelius. Yes, okay, he worked with Magnus and also he worked with Gelfand during a long time. Maybe he is still working with Gelfand, and also for short period he worked with Jan Nepomniachtchi. If educated player usually stronger in classical chess, yes, I think so. But okay, Dubov is very special player, so sometimes okay, he surely understand what is correct move in this position, which what is position demand, but sometimes he want to do something very original, and unfortunately for him these original moves are not always good. Morozevich was coach of Dubov, maybe, but I didn't hear such an information. I know Vasily Gagarin, uh, master from Moscow, was his choice, and also Andrei Kharitonov many years ago. Okay, maybe Morozevich as well, but totally possible. Of Shirov, vice versa. Okay, so Shirov it's also. And during last time, Shirov is playing very strong and qualified to the Grand Prix. So congratulations to Alexei. So queen takes e4, queen takes b5, queen e5, g3, rook b8. Okay, rook b5. So drawish rook and game. They agreed to draw. Okay, so what else we have for today? Which games I didn't consider yet. There is games of Magnus and Shankland Karyakin. Very exciting games. Okay, of course, about young Krzysztof Duda. Okay, very promising player, but unfortunately in this tournament he didn't play very well. So I hope he has a good chances in candidates tournament. So Shankland Karyakin, it's they played in FIDE World Cup and Karyakin won on tie break. So today Shankland took his revanche in very sharp game. So b5, e4, d6. It's theoretical line after bishop d2. According to my knowledge, main line is bishop takes c4, bishop takes c4, b4, bishop d2, castle, something like this. So it's very popular now. But a6 played Karyakin. Okay, probably this was played as well. And a4. a4 is novelty for me. No. Okay, maybe Magnus had respect of Moro, but as I remember, score between them was in favor of Magnus. They played many times in Melody Amber tournaments in Monaco, Rapid, Blindford, and according to my memory, Magnus had advantage score. So okay, but it's totally possible that he respect him. Yes, okay, but not the score in favor of Morozevich. Okay, so a6 normal here looks knight e2, if b takes c4, knight f4, but okay, b takes c4 is not necessary. Black has many opportunities. It's possible just this to play, if takes, just play this, and later to play c4 and bishop c5, something like this. What a4? It's okay. I have never seen such a moves. Black has choice. Possible to take here, and if b takes, to play this. If bishop takes c3, to play this, and play theoretical position with input moves a4 and a6. I don't know. It looks like more useful for black because I don't know what benefit can bring white a4, but for black somewhere rook a7, rook e7, it's possible. But okay, so was alternative, but he took on c4, bishop takes c4 and played knight d7, very concrete line. Another possibility can be considered takes, for example, and knight c6. idea to prepare knight e5 is playable position, a little bit similar to Volga gambit, I mean b6 line, something like this. C4, C5, D5, B5, takes A6, B6, E6, knight C3, e takes D5, knight takes D5, knight takes D5, queen takes D5, knight C6, knight F3, rook B8 is the best move according to series. Idea if knight E5 to play queen F6. So if E4, bishop E7. Bishop c4, for example, castle, castle, rook takes b6. This position is a little bit similar, which I showed you. So, Grandmaster Pavel Tregubov is expert of this line with black. Okay, so he takes d5 what's possible, but he played knight bd7, sacrificated pawn, takes, knight e5, bishop, queen. So knight d3, it's a threat somehow. So bishop f4 played Sam to prevent knight d3. So c4, bishop takes e5, and knight h3. Surely black has some compensation, but okay, white has extra pawns. Bishop c5, logical move to prevent castle. Rook b8, knight f2, and now, okay, black can just play normal moves, for example, to play bishop d4, and after castle, quite reasonable compensation idea to play rook f7, rook b7, nearest moves. So bishop on d4 is extremely strong, and it gives compensation for the pawn. But Sergei immediately attacked pawn, but Sam just ignore it, and white is pieced down, but black has a real problem with his king, because it's not possible to castle, and also many pieces are hanging, and very concrete threat rook b1 now. Not easy to understand what to do against, because if bishop moves somewhere, rook b1. So queen b3, queen c7, again same problem. So rook b1 is very unpleasant threat. So if, for example, castle, rook b1, queen f7, white can choose. They can simply take on f7, then take on f2, but also possible to take this as well. After this, rook takes b2, white is totally weak. So after queen c7, looks like black is hopeless. So suddenly there are no defense against simple but very concrete threats from white. So he played queen b6, queen takes e5, king f7, knight d5. So very nice. Rook b1, queen c5 is possible. So knight d5 is very precise move. Now, if queen c5, rook c1 coming, it's unpleasant for black. For example, queen c5, rook e1, and now if rook e8, white can just take and play rook c7 and then take on f6 probably. Okay, maybe this is not winning, because white has no window for his king. So king f8, for example. Okay, let's go back. So queen c5. Maybe white has something stronger. Okay, maybe just rook c1 looks like correct, but after this maybe simply queen f5 is possible, and then rook c7 coming. So this looks much more strong, and this gives decisive attack. Queen b4 instead of queen b3. Queen b4. Okay, queen b4 is possible, but Okay, even after simple, black is suffering. Of course, this is some chances for draw, but white has pawn up. But now, so okay, rook c1, and black cannot prevent rook c7. So very good attack. So knight d5, queen c5, rook f2. Knight d5, queen c5, rook f2. Okay, rook f2 may be possible, but okay, rook c1 simply winning looks, but rook f2, okay, what is maybe possible as well, but is it winning? Queen e7 check you want, or queen c7? But I don't see clear mates. Okay, maybe queen c7, if knight g6, knight f4 check, if king h6, knight e6, something like this, but if knight h5, queen c1 check and queen g5. Okay, it's probably possible as well, but rook ac1 looks like simple and enough for win. So, okay, very impressive win for Sam. So let's see another game. So what left for today? Just game from Magnus or what? Or something else? On Karyakin, yes. Giri Grandelius we have seen already. Vidit Mamidyarov we have seen. Isipenko report. Okay, so only game of Magnus left, so we will consider it. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, g6, Rossolimo lines. Castle, bishop g7, c3, knight f6. Now there are many possibilities. So queen a4 is possible, e5 is possible, queen e2 is possible. Even d4 is possible, gambit line with idea if knight takes e4, d5. So okay, so big choice for white, but rook e1 played Fabiano, castle, d4. Another theoretical line here is h3, and now black has choice between e5 or queen b6. Anish Giri prefers queen b6 here. So d4, it's theoretical move too. d5, e5, knight e4, bishop e3. As I remember, main line here is takes, and bishop d7. Something like this. Also, immediately bishop d7 was possible, but not so good. I remember it were a game Anand white and double black. Something with bishop d7. Queen b6 is also theoretical line. Even many games was played with queen b6 immediately, but after bishop takes... yes, here double took with queen on c6 against Anand. And after the opening, he was slightly worse. So after b takes c6, queen c1, I remember. Idea to... or maybe b3 is possible, because bishop g4 is not threat for white. After h3, black cannot take, because his knight is trapped. So queen b6, but Magnus firstly took, and now queen b6. So how I understand his idea, so here after queen takes c6, white has possibility to take on c5. So with c takes d4, c takes d4, b4, Magnus wants to just avoid this possibility. Queen b6, but now Caruana decides not to take immediately, although it's totally possible. Take on c6, and after queen takes c6, place something like knight bd2, so it's totally possible, and I am sure that it was played. Also, I have seen this idea, to avoid bishop g4, and then knight takes e4, knight c3. If knight takes d2, queen takes d2, and knight c3. So I think Krivoruchko played this line with white. I don't remember, unfortunately, against whom. So queen e2 is a new move for me. So bishop takes c6 was something with my knowledge. Okay, so bishop d7, natural reaction, and now knight takes e5 is obvious threat. So bishop a4 played Fabiano, rook c8. Another very natural move. So looks like black has quite comfortable position. But now queen d8 is very interesting move. So, and after bishop b3, knight a5. I don't know if it was against Shevchenko Kirill. Yes. Okay. Korobov Shevchenko. You are right. Thank you. So I don't know if he find this idea over the board. It was home preparation, because in first look looks like position dangerous, because after bishop takes d5, rook takes c3, bishop d2, and it looks like very dangerous. E6 is coming somewhere, but the problem for white that after bishop takes d5, black not necessary to take on c3, but bishop f5 is much more stronger. And suddenly white has serious problem with his bishops. Bishop f5 is important to control e4 square. And after c4, e6, bishop is trapped. After bishop b3, rook takes c3, white still have problem with his bishop. So this is very important intermezzo. Bishop f5 after bishop takes d5. Fabi played rook c1. Okay, probably I don't know if in some moment black is taking on b3. Aha, so 30 second. Yeah, for 30 second, yes, sure, it was preparation. Queen d2 looks logical to keep rook on a1. After knight takes b3, a takes b3, rook can be useful on a1, but here bishop g4 is not so pleasant for white, and not clear what to do with knight. Okay, maybe knight h4 is possible, but it's a little bit shaky for white. So he decides to play rook ac1. Probably this another logical move here to keep rook on a1, because if black is taken, rook is very useful on a1. On e1, so rook is natural on e1, but probably not doing anything concrete. Of course, black can play something like this: bishop g4, h3, just take here and play e6. It's normal position. But, so white has weakness on c3, but white has also contraplay in queen's flank, so they don't prepare g3, h4 probably. So complicated lines. This is a little bit similar to game Nakamura Kramnik in Chess Olympiad in Istanbul, which Nakamura won with white. It was Grünfeld with c6 d5. I want to remember this game. So d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight f3, Nakamura Kramnik, I mean something like this, bishop g2, d5, takes, knight c3, knight e4, queen b3, knight takes c3, b takes c3, castle, knight d2, e6, e4, knight c6. Idea if e takes d5, knight a5. In some moment Nakamura played e5 and then won the game. Why taking this line on d5? Here, why take? Okay, it's not necessary. It's possible to play b3 or queen b3 or just castle after d takes c4, a4. It's not necessary, but Hans Niemann. Okay, I don't know him quite well. Okay, probably just few games I have seen, so I have no prepared my opinion yet about him. So but about structure with e5, I recommend to see game Nakamura Kramnik from this opening. White c3, d4, e5. So weakness on c3, but ideas h4, h5 not to take. So it's matter of taste. Take or not to take. Be or not to be, like Shakespeare. Okay, so rook ac1 played Fabiano, knight takes b3, a takes b3, queen b6, queen a2. Pretty original move, more natural for me looks to play knight d2, but anyway, looks like white has no advantage here because black has two bishop. Okay, at the moment bishop on g7 is closed, but black has ideas activate him with f6 somewhere. But anyway, knight d2 looks like logical move here to prepare f4 or to prepare c4 some moment. Yes, like this game. So in some moment Nakamura even avoid move repetition and played something strange like knight b1 in some moment, but won the game. I don't know if it was logical result of game or maybe Kramnik blunder, but anyway, it's interesting to see. So knight d2 for me looks more natural move than queen a2 because idea to prepare f4 or c4 or even h4. Okay, h4 may be less logical because if white plays h4, black stop h5, black cannot play f4 anymore because of weakness of g4. But okay, c4 or f4 looks like logical moves. Just try not allow black activate his bishop g7. So queen a2 looks like less usual move for me because knight on f3. Yes, bishop g5 is possible, but after bishop g5, black can just protect the pawn e7 or somewhere f6 even possible to consider. So okay, queen a2. It's a little bit strange move for me somehow. Okay, but a5, queen a3. Again, knight d2 is possible, but what is the idea of queen a2? He played queen a3, rook f e8, and now c4. Okay, so he pushed the pawn, but still knight on f3. It's far from the best square. So in my opinion, even here, knight d2 was better to prepare c4 in a better moment. Okay, my best regards to John Spielman. Yes, I played several games against him. Not so much, but played. Not too much. Not too many games, but several games. Knight d2. Okay, so, but because after c4, knight d2, b1. I started laughing. Okay, I will check. So I will try to find this game in my database. At the moment, I don't remember. So I remember I won one game in Chebanenko line. So I mean, in this line, d4, knight f6. Okay, for example, c4, c6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, a6. And I played queen c2. At the moment, main theory is d takes c4 here. If e4, b5, if a4, e6 is important move, and black has very good position. So if takes, bishop b7, or same if here e5, firstly knight d5, takes, bishop b7. And, but then knight b4 is coming, black has excellent position. So after d takes c4, main theory is e4, b5, b3, something like this. Very complicated game, which was played in Gelfand Tomaszewski. But John Spielman played g6 instead of d takes c4, and after c takes d5, c takes d5, bishop g5. The problem of black that they cannot play bishop g7 because losing the pawn after knight takes d5. So he played knight c6, and after bishop f6 and e3, I have a better structure. And later I won this position. Bishop e2, castle, rook fc1, something like this. Yes. About Drozdowski, okay, he lives in Odessa, so he stopped to play chess. I heard that he opened some business together with his wife Natalia Zdebskaya, but what is how successful is they in the little Petrosyan of Odessa? Okay, I never had such name of Drozdowski, little Petrosyan. Okay, I will know this. But okay, about Odessa, Petrosyan hardly has good memories because he lost match against Viktor Korchnoi in 1974 with a big scandal, something like this. What do you think of Karyakin performance today? Okay, Karyakin lost today, so certainly he is not happy with result with Plato. So it's good performance today for Sam Shankland against Karyakin. So this was my game against Spielman, one of my games against Spielman, and so rook ac1, queen a2, queen a3, and he played c4, but now after d takes c4 and queen a6, white has very concrete problem with hanging pawns, because black just attacked pawn c4, and if, for example, now played knight d2, b5 looks extremely unpleasant, and if c5, black has two passed pawn, and d pawn, it's easy to block with bishop e6 or bishop c6. So this period of game Caruana played really unlucky, and after queen a5, black has much more easy game. So after c5, white position is blocked, and Yes, c4 was more logical, yes, because from a2, pawn c4 would be more protected. Probably he didn't like this idea also, and rook takes c4 is impossible because bishop e6, but now d5 it's possible to consider what has contraplay. So queen a3, yes, okay, queen a3 it's possible, but now black has also idea bishop f8 and e6 with stampede in some variations. So after knight bd2, it's can be considered even this. Okay, it's not necessary, of course, but can be considered. So it's very strange plan. Queen a3, queen a2, queen a2, queen a3. And now after c5, bishop c6, it's clear that black has advantage because a pawn is very strong and white pawns are blocked, and knight still has no good perspectives. Rook b1, another strange move. Much more natural looks knight d2 at least, with idea knight c4, but okay. The black can play bishop d5, but if bishop d5, white can attack the pawn. And if rook a8, rook b1, and idea rook b6 with quite serious contraplay. So why not knight d2? Okay, if b5 I will take. So knight d2 is very natural move, and I don't see any explanation why Fabiano rejected to play this. Okay, probably black has some ideas even with this, and after takes to play bishop d5, but I mean something like this. Queen takes b6 and bishop on d5 is quite strong, but okay, white is pawn up, so probably not so simple here. And probably here white has more ideas. It's possible, or at least rook a1 is possible to consider if. So very strange moment, rook b1. So knight d2, okay, well, I'm trying to understand what could afraid Fabi here, because knight c4, knight b6 is very natural plan for white. Queen c6. Okay, maybe queen c6. But okay, what is my problem? Queen c6, pawn is attacked, so queen takes a5, bishop takes g2. Probably dangerous because of weak king. But okay, if I play f3, what happened? So pawn is attacked, and if you will defend somehow, rook eb1, rook a8, yes, rook eb1, yes, and if compare with the game, okay, rook a6 is possible, but if compare with the game, so yes, white has much better position, not better position, but better if compare with the game, for example, rook b2. So I want to play rook a b1 next move, or maybe knight b1, knight c3, so it's very strange choice, rook b1 here. What is logic? So it seems that Fabi just didn't understood that his knight on f3 has no any perspectives and didn't try to improve his knight. So even here after knight d2, okay, probably black is better, but it's still complicated game, and I'm sure if Fabi, for example, play knight d2 and offer a draw, Carlsen would be accepted because draw was enough for him to win the tournament. But rook b1, it's strange move, so because now there is no c4 square for knight at all. So, and now knight d2. So now he wants knight c4, but okay, it's a little bit too late. So queen e2. Now after knight c4, queen g4, so it's okay. Maybe correct here was to play rook e1 anyway. And if Queen g4, h3, yes. If queen a6, rook b6. Yes, so still playable position. But after f3, yes, f3 is it's not a dubious move. It's direct blunder because it's obvious that after rook takes d4. Okay, the knight f3. Okay, but maybe this is possible, but this is not human move because firstly played knight d2 and then played knight f3. Okay, only computer can play in this style. So human move is rook e1 here, in my opinion. Then to see. So f3, but after f3, yes, he is just bad because white has many weaknesses and black has everything very well protected. Queen b4, e6, so white cannot defend pawn e5, so it means that black will have two pawns against exchange and excellent chances to win without any risk. Bishop e7, black just improving position, all defended, and black can do everything what they want. So easy to play. Maybe he could go to rook b6 and then play knight d2 after queen e8. Rook b6, you mean here rook b6? Or after rook ec1? Here rook b6. Yes, it's possible, but queen c4, maybe knight d2, queen d5, and after f3, f6. Instead of knight d2, here rook b6. Yes, it's possible. It's logical idea, more logical. But okay, I have feelings that b6 square is more suited for knight, not for rooks. But okay, maybe for concrete reasons it's still possible. For example, queen c8, f3. Okay, queen c8 is possible. If knight c4, queen g4 is idea. If f3, black has contraplay with f6. Anyway, I would prefer black because more easy to play. There are too many targets for contraplay. But okay, so here he is totally losing, and Magnus gradually realize it. Advantage, bishop d4, white just resigned. Of course, they cannot do anything. Black can just play king. Knight e1, c2, but yes, but in which moment? You mean here knight e1? After rook b6, here knight e1. Yes, maybe, but anyway, queen c8 is possible, and if knight c2, queen g4 is coming. So knight c2, it's not possible to play directly. If, for example, start with f3, black has strong contraplay with f6, and more easy to play. How would human finish the game as black? How would human finish the game as black at the moment Caruana resigned? Okay, so white has no any contraplay, so okay, rook b4 only resolvable move because also bishop e4, bishop d3 it's threat. So rook b4 is only a resolvable move, but okay, bishop e3 simply, and then bishop takes c5, of course, not possible because rook f4 check, but course, in such level it's not possible to hope for such a primitive trap. And then black can just go king e6, king d5, or king e6, king f5, and so b4. Yes, but of course, if black not doing anything, it can be a good position for white. But black has very serious contraplay. Somewhere they just attack g2 pawn, and somewhere very strong contraplay with f6. So maybe black has no advantage objectively, but in practical games it's much easier to play. So problem of Fabi started, in my opinion, here. So rook b1, very strange move. So after knight d2, I don't think he's really worse. Linares, okay, I will do it, but not today. So today I wanted just comment around 12, and tomorrow more or less in the same time I will comment last round. uh, okay, so congratulations for Magnus with victory on the tournament. It's of course it's the pity that we will not see him tomorrow on the board because Dubov is not playing, but okay, Magnus is not guilty with this. Okay, Caruana probably is out of form, but also he won many instructive games. So, and probably this tournament will be useful for him for preparation in his program of preparation for candidated tournament. And at least I see that he is fighting in each game. So probably also he considering this Tata Steel chess tournament like training before candidated tournament. So he trying to keep tension. So many times he avoided move repetition, and so he is very good fighter, and of course I respect him. Caruana is working with Chuchelov now. Arjun going with Rustam. Yes, okay. The moment I have no planet tournaments yet. So about Arjun Erigaisi, okay, I have no opinion. Okay, I am not well familiar with his game yet, but okay, of course I will see them. Okay, of course I know him several, just several games I have seen. So okay, so for today that's all, and tomorrow I will finish my report about Wijk tournament. It will be about last round, and congratulations again to Magnus Carlsen with his victory. Bye and good night.